I'm at a place which is known locally as Devil's Wood, but what has also been called Demon's Forest, Beelzebub's Wood and Satan's Lair. A place that is said to hold the secrets of the dead in hidden tunnels that reach to the gates of hell, where you can hear the screams of the damned. Or so the legend goes. But don't they always say that each legend has an element of truth? If so, that is what I'm here to find out. Well, whether they are true or not, I'm going into the woods today to see if I can get a big surprise. Looking like a redneck from the film Deliverance. Squeal like a pig, boy. But I have to say, this wood, as lovely as most woods are, is giving me a bit of a weird vibe. But as I walked around, at this point, I thought I would have a bit of a sit down to catch my breath and have a chat with you guys. So, I think we all get the idea of what the gates of hell are. But, from my understanding, the scripture Matthew 16:18 is the only time the gates are actually mentioned. The passage is referring to the building of Jesus' church, and it says, "And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Now, the thing is, I don't pretend to know anything about the Bible or its teachings, regardless of having a religious family myself. But personally, I think that something so important like the gates of hell would have been mentioned more than once in the book of God if it was so bad, would it not? I mean, if you're giving a training session at work and it's all about the dangers of fire, the literature you're reading doesn't just say, "Fire is burning," and then leave it there. What it does do is it goes on for what seems like days about the effects it has, etc, etc. So, why doesn't the Bible mention the gates of hell more? I'm just thinking out loud there. Anyway, it's time to move on. As with all my documentaries, I've already had a bit of a quick recce, so I know that the forest is a nice walk, although the terrain is a bit ropey in bits, and it can be very muddy in parts to say the least. However, while I was here last time, I didn't really find anything like hidden tunnels or the gates of hell. But, you know me, it doesn't stop me from looking. Now, as beautiful as this forest is, it also gives you an uneasy feeling, as if someone is watching you. But, maybe that's just because I already know the stories behind the legend. Back in the 1600s, it's said that a local farmer and his daughter came across tunnels that they'd never seen before, despite farming the land most of their lives. The father said that his daughter then ventured into the tunnel, not to return. It is then claimed that he too entered the tunnels, looking for his daughter, only to hear the sounds of screams coming from deep inside, and then saw what he described as the devil dragging his daughter by the hair through the gates of hell. It's then said that he later returned with help, only to find that the tunnel had disappeared. But numerous stories have appeared since then with similar accounts of the tunnels appearing and disappearing and sightings of the devil, etc. Personally, I think the father murdered his daughter and then used this as a cover for his crime. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that someone had come up with such an elaborate story to cover their tracks. Take the Yorkshire Ripper, who claimed that God had told him to kill his victims, but unfortunately for him, the jury didn't believe his story. Anyway, let's get on. The thing is, we're doing this sort of thing in the summertime, what you tend to get is loads of midges and bloody hot. Now obviously, I've got all this gear on, I've got to carry all the equipment, and it's so bloody warm, it really is warm. However, we're just going to carry on, see what we can see and see what we can find. When I go on these little adventures of mine, I often pass old buildings that are all run down, and rivers that often see me put on my waders. I mean, come on, who doesn't like a bit of rubber? Well, obviously, there's a reason I put the waders on. Got a massive big river to contend with, and obviously it's a lot it's really muddy. Plus, if I find any tunnels, then I'll be going down there, and I'm presuming they're going to be muddy and maybe even flooded. So that is the reason why I've got these bad boys on. Now, like I always say, I wouldn't recommend anyone trying to replicate any of the things that I get up to in Curiosity, because anything that involves water can often become dangerous very quickly. Plus, I do have my bronze certificate in swimming. Filming on your own can often leave you in a vulnerable position, and there is a lot of to and froing when filming B-roll. But sometimes things happen that even I wasn't expecting. Like this. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, that fucking scared the shit out of me then. Now the thing is, was that a sign? Was that somebody trying to tell me something? Whatever it was, that just proves my point of how dangerous it is filming this sort of stuff on your own. A little further up, and I would have been toast, brown bread, dead. Undeterred, supernatural or not, I carried on in true Curiosity style, only this time with a few extra skid marks in my pants. Trying to get the fallen tree out of my mind, I moved on, and then I came across some sort of derelict building that I'd obviously missed on my first visit. Right in the middle of the forest, next to the river. Now, if you didn't know any better, you would be forgiven for thinking I was in the Amazon and I found some sort of like lost temple. I would have thought something like this would be quite rare in the UK, but I'm not sure because I don't even know what the hell it is. For all I know, it could have been the local ice cream factory. Excited with the prospect of finding hidden ice cream, I decided to have a look around. Now, as far as I'm aware, walls like this were made in 17th, 18th century. Not, like I said, not sure what it is, but it's freaking me out. I just didn't know how freaked out I was about to get until I found what I thought I'd been looking for, and that was a hidden tunnel. Now, as you know, there's not many things that scare me, but I've come across this tunnel, and I'll be honest with you, I've got a really bad feeling about it, and at this moment in time, I'm fucking shitting myself, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I don't get scared easily, as you know, but I'm trying to think logically. I mean, what are the odds that this is even a tunnel to hell? Very, very slim, but I mean, it's almost non-existent that that is the tunnel to hell, is it not? But on the other hand, I'm in the middle of a forest that has a legend about bloody area of tunnels, and the Bible is saying about a building being on top of, or the church being on the top of tunnels, and I'm here all alone. I don't know what to do. I suppose I'm here to have a look. I've come all this way. I suppose I might as well, Anna. But I'm not lying when I say I'm very, very, very fucking nervous. This is the most nervous I've ever been. So, fingers crossed. I've come all this way, and like I said, there's no point in not going in. Just hoping something really bad don't happen. So I'm just going to get a few stuff out of my bag, like a torch. And obviously, instead of taking the big camera in, I've got a GoPro style camera. Like that, I'll take that off. And a headlamp as well. So that saves me carrying everything around. So might as well leave my glasses here. I'm not going to need them in hell. going in. Well, as you can see, I managed to get in, and it's opened up into a bigger tunnel which at least I can stand up in. It's very dark, and I don't know if you can hear it, but when I stop talking, if you listen, you can hear the wind coming through the tunnels, which is a bit strange to say there was no wind outside. But instead of yapping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be quiet so you can hear what's going on. So wish me luck. Now, as with all my videos, I would appreciate it if you could look through the video yourself. If you see anything, please let the other subscribers know to see if anybody can suss out exactly what it is you've seen.
well, there you go. I've got to the end. Obviously no gates of hell. If these are the tunnels, I can understand why people, especially in olden days, would think those type of things. But if these are the tunnels, then it's just a legend. There's no devil in there, nothing, as you've seen. It's quite spooky, very dirty, as you can see. And I'm now gonna go home and have a nice bath. So thank you for watching Curiosity. And as I always say, do something that scares you.